Good morning, this is a Scrap Your Stash, and today I'm going to be doing some PML cards, greeting cards. So PMLs come in two sizes. They come in a 4x6, which is great for if you're doing scrapbooking and you just want a mat or you want a nice big journaling area, or they come in 3x4. And they're all double-sided, and you can barely see some of these because they're so light on light colors, but they're double-sided and they flip. So if you want a horizontal, then you got a horizontal side. If you want a vertical side, you got a vertical side. So they're really versatile in whether you want to do pocket scrapbooking or card making. So these are the ones that I typically use on inside of cards, or like really this is more for like my mom, probably you and me, or it's too girly for my husband, to be honest, or a best friend. It would work for a best friend. So I'll probably save that one for later. I do have 5 for sure that we're going to make today, and then we'll play around with some others. So we're going to do this one first. I have this, I don't know if you can really see that pattern. It's just like a diamond pattern, but it has leaves. Let's see if I can show you with my light on it. See, it's just a really different pattern. It's really cute. So we're going to do that, and this is the other side. It's the same pattern, just a different background. So it's white versus a white background versus the blue background. They're just flipped. I'm going to cut this sentiment out, and I'm going to use this probably in a scrapbook or in the inside of the card. And I'm going to save these two as strips, and we'll use those on another card. So I am going to trim those specifically off of here. And this one is different because it's big this way and it's little this way. So I may actually just trim it all away just so that I get all of those little nice zip strip type things. They're a little bit bigger than a zip strip. They're just a touch over 1/2 inch. I just don't want to trim it to where it's going to trim this off. So I don't think I will. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this down to where I want my sentiment to be. And then I'll trim the other 2 off, because those are going to be really useful later on. And I like strips. Any strip type of thing I save that's over 1/2 inch, just because they are really useful for like little pendants, little accents on your card. If you participate in any of my workshops, you know that I do a whole thing on, or a whole card on strip cards, scrap cards, so kind of fun that way. So I think I kind of like that, where it's bordered by the other one. Okay, so just get a card base out. I have several here. I just grabbed like 20 of them. So now I think I'm gonna, I could do this way. And I could put it in the middle. I could put it, or I could do it this way. And I think I might just do it this way. And I might even just suck it up, and we might use some of these as little accents. I don't know yet. We might have come in over here with some, I don't know. I think I'll leave it in the middle for right now. So let's just okay, and if you're a measurer, go ahead and measure. I am not always. I am to a degree, but not always. Okay. So there we go. There's one card. I mean, super simple, right? I mean, I'm already done. One card, and it's been just a couple seconds, really. So there's that. I might put some little details around here, like little gems or something like that, but I'm going to leave that to the side, and we'll decorate them all at the same time, because that takes a little bit. So what I've already done is two of the PML cards. I took my 3-inch circle die from my shaker windows, so this big one here, and these are 3x4, so they perfectly fit, but I loved how this was already bordered, so I wanted to cut that out as a circle, and this was pretty much done the same way. I mean, I cut off a little bit of the leaves here and over here, but it's pretty much a circle, so I love how that worked out. So I went ahead and cut those. I am going to trim these down because these are too big for the card, right? These are 4x6. So since they are 4 inches, it's already 1/4 inch shorter. So I'm just going to trim the other side. I'm only going to trim one side, and that's this side. And I'm going to just do it to 5 1/4. Just trimming it so that there's a 1/4 inch all the way around, or 1/8 of an inch all the way around the card. So let's get another card. So there's that. Now I could use the blue, which is quite stunning, but I want to make sure, actually that looks really good. You don't want to take away from your sentiment area either. You want that to kind of pop, but I think the blue is actually quite striking. Okay. I'm just gonna stick this on here. Again, on my cards, my ridge is down, so the valley is up right now, and the ridge always goes on the inside. Now the other side, this doesn't happen all the time, where it cuts perfectly for the other side too. So it says Babes Brunch and Bubbly, so I could use that too. I don't know why they used, I know it's really soft looking, and I think that's the look that they were going for, but it's either mink or white daisy on the ballerina, and it's very hard to read in my opinion. So I'm definitely going to use the mink side that says Loving Every Second, and I'm going to make it kind of cockeyed. Actually, let's put it over here. And the reason why I want it over there is because I am going to use one of these, and me actually have to stick my shears under there and pick this back up. Okay, so I'm going to just leave those there while I cut these down. Oh, yeah, I leave my shears in there while I need to cut them down, huh? It doesn't really work. How about a ruler? Just so it's propped up. Okay, so this one I like, and maybe from the other one, right, because we still have that scrap. If I can find it now. Still have a scrap from it. Well, did I leave it on my, oh, I left it on my trimmer. I still have this pink scrap, right? So why don't we just trim this one down too, and we'll do a couple little pennants off of here, kind of like this, maybe up high. So I'll use the ballerina side. And let's do about right there. If you're curious, it's about 1 1/4 inches. And so we're just going to tuck this back here. I'll glue it on here in a minute. And I'm going to probably trim this one a little bit shorter, but still dove it. So if you're in a hurry to make a ton of cards, guess what? Christmas cards are really easy done with PMLs too. If you need a lot of Christmas cards, you can do a lot of Christmas cards. We have a Christmas special right now. It ends August 31st. It's called White Pines. Really pretty collection. I'm not so sure there's PMLs with it, but we have a new catalog coming up in a couple weeks. So don't forget that we have a new catalog, and order what you want out of this catalog while it's available. And the next catalog does have a Christmas special in it, and it is beautiful. And there's PMLs, so you can always do it. I'll do a series of Christmas PMLs. for you guys. I just got mine in the mail, actually. So there's that one. All done, all ready to go. I might add some gems or something on it here in a little bit. Okay, we'll do the same with this one. These were just perfectly, they were just perfect for the circles, so that's what I used them as. Again, 5 1/4. We've already gotten 4 1/4 off of the 4 sides, so we might as well just trim this one. I'm going to save this one. The back side of this is I believe this is sage. Looks like sage to me. I don't always remember the coordinating colors, but I'm going to leave both of these because these and the one that I just trimmed down, I don't know where it is. I guess it might be this one. All 3 of those, I can do three doves on that one now. I'd like. So again, bridge down. And if I cover that up, I will forget that I have that. I have my scrapbooking stamp set from Isabella out right now too, just for 2 extra cards, or 1 extra card if we really want to. We'll see. I think I'm going to use the mink side instead of the sage side because this is the sage. I'm assuming this is sage, by the way. Looks like it to me. So I'm going to use, of course, I say that and then I do the opposite, right? Okay, well, let's try something different, shall we? Let's see, what can we use? Maybe I'll pop it out with some evergreen. Yeah, it's green on green, tone on tone. This is really easy to do because we don't have a whole lot of colors in this right now. And I don't have an evergreen sponge yet, so I'm just going to cut a sponge. I just cut them in little wedges. So yes, I do cut my sponges up, but it makes it so much easier. And I just keep them in a baggie, and I have them labeled. So Sapphire, Lagoon. Don't think I have one for this. I have New England Ivy. Bluebell. I don't see one for evergreen. So we're just going to do evergreen, and I'm just going to ink this. So just so you guys can see what I'm doing, I'm just going to ink it up. Doesn't take much, actually. Doesn't look like you have anything on there, but you do. And I just tap the card all the way around. And what this will do is it'll just make the edges pop so it doesn't sink into the other green. This will be really pretty with the green on green, tone on tone. I really like tone on tone, actually. So there it is. It just highlights it just a little extra. The other thing is with PMLs, it's so nice because they're like pre-made sentiments, right? So you don't have to worry about sentiments at all. You don't have to really worry about stamping. I do have a stamp set out just because of one of them. See, in this one I could have used the pink one, but I just can't see it. And I can't see it in person, so I can't expect you guys to really see it on screen either. So I think I'm going to do 3 of these. Do it. We'll just tuck them in. Just like we did on the other one. I think I'm going to do this one quite a bit longer. And you can always trim them and then really stick them in, or trim them down again if you don't like. Notice how I'm not actually gluing them in yet. So you can always just play around with it first. And then I want this little guy short. So this is another reason why I keep strips, is because I really like dovetails and little strip cards. So I think that's how I'm going to do it. I think it looks good. So let's just get some tape on that. Now, if I really wanted to strike it out or, pop it out with blue, I can. But I think I'm going to keep it really subdued with the pink ballerina. And there's that one. Okay. So there's that card. 3 down. Let's do at least 2 more. I'll check the time. Okay, so I'm going to move these strips back over here. Now this one I think I might make a vertical card. We'll see. Let's try it vertical first. Nope, horizontal it is. So these other 2 are going to be horizontal cards. So I'm using a full, I'm not trimming any of these. These are 3x4s. They already have sentiments. I could use this side too, and I could trim it and bring it down, but I like how it kind of pops out that way. And you could even use these as like one of the gateway fold cards where you have one where this opens to another layer and it kind of goes like this. So it's a fun pull card, and we might do that later. I might show you that later. Actually, I really like the mink on this one. And I think I'm going to offset it like that. I like it in the middle, but I think it gives it a bit more character if you offset it. So you do you, but I think I'm going to offset. So if you're in a hurry to get a lot of cards done, this is, and it's cheap, guys. These are $7. I think actually in the new catalog they might go up to $8, but still $8. Look how many cards I'm getting. So far we already have 4. So $8 right there is $2 a card, but you can easily get at least half a dozen, if not more. I still have all of these that I can play with too for cards, and you can split these ones down into the smaller versions too, right? You can divide these in half, and then you have 2 little ones, 2 little 3x4s. So I don't need that one. I need this one. This one, I actually probably will stamp a sentiment on this one because it doesn't have anything here. So why don't we go ahead and do that? And that's, I think, was part of my reason for having the stamp set out. And I think I'm going to stamp on the card and off the card. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to use the blue side. This is Bluebird, in case you're wondering. It's blue. It's really striking against that lemonade that they used. I think, anyway. It's very pretty. Okay. You've seen this sentiment on some of my cards before if you follow me. But live your best life. I just think that's so pretty. Live your best is not really going to fit though. So let's try something different. How about it's a beautiful life instead? It's if it would come off my finger, that would be great. Okay, there. And you could do a crazy. We have crazy on here. So it's a crazy life, it's a beautiful life, it's a fun life, it's our life. You can always cut the A off or mask it. Okay, I think I'm going to line these up. It's one good thing about a Versamat is you have these, except they stick to everything. If you do motion cards, then you know you have to have a Versamat. I'm going to use this. Scoochie this one. There we go. Okay. Let me get a block. I have 2 blocks out. It's a Beautiful Life. I'm just going to do black. Of course, my favorite, Archival. Now I've used these, but I've used them in very light colors, so they're not going to show that I've actually used them. So the light colors just don't stain as much as the darks. So it's a beautiful. And this is a really generic, so don't be afraid to buy the scrapbooking sets, because some of those are really good for sentiments because they're really generic. They're not a happy birthday, thank you, thinking of you. They're quite fun to play around with and just choose different things. So that's why I like the scrapbooking sets sometimes more than the card making sets. Okay, Life. And this is going to go big and bold. I've used this a lot. It's a really great stamp. Just make sure that you ink it up really well though. If I wanted to, I could come in and color the Isabella flowers. I'm not going to. It's just not needed. But so pretty. Such a great sentiment. I think it's very encouraging. And that's how I feel right now. It's a Beautiful Life. So I'm going to do it much like I did the other one. All set. Okay, there's that. So a little bit of stamping, not much. Okay, so there's those. Now what I could do, I'm going to check the time. So it's been 25 minutes. I still have 4 cards that I can do, or I still have, really this one is more decorative. So what I would do is I would cut around this, or highlight it in a circle, or a square or something. You have the other side too, but I would definitely highlight this somehow. And you could even, maybe we'll just do that, I don't know. Actually, maybe we'll do that, we'll just frame it. So I'm just going to trim this down, we'll just make one more. The other ones you can use for backgrounds for other cards, and you can actually do the sentiments and such. But this one, I just want to trim down to 5. Let's do it right to that lemon. Okay. And then we'll flip it and we'll do 5 1/4. This way, we could just frame it. I mean, really. How simple is that? And what I might do is I might just ink it, right? Make it stand out just a little bit, frame it. It is a really light color on, and it's going to go against Daisy. So maybe I'll take some Evergreen. Just ink the sides. Just dress them just a touch. You can do this with toffee. Actually, toffee would be a really pretty one to do it with. My toffee is packed, so I do not have about a dozen of my inks out right now because I have that workshop today. So if you're in the area, there's still some free spots at my workshop, and it is a free workshop. It's at the library in the kids department. So come join us. We'd love to have you. It's at 1 o'clock. So this will just help. I know it doesn't look like much against a Versamat, but it looks much better against a card. So here's a card base, valley down, or valley up, mountain down. So it just gives it a little bit more character when you do that. But I also use this side, right? And it still has a frame around it too because I inked it. So, but I think I like the other side better. So I'm going to go ahead and take this side. And some of these really don't need sentiments. You don't need to have a sentiment on here if you don't want. And this might be a horizontal card. I think it will be. But, I mean, that's just really pretty. You could put a little pennant down here if you want and put a sentiment there. You could put a sentiment up in this corner. I don't know what I'm going to do yet with it. I think it's actually quite lovely just the way it is. I may not add the sentiment on the outside. I may put a sentiment rather on the inside.